Hi everyone, Tori here. This is my Showcase 1 assignment where I'll be showing you a tool that can be used for engagement from a lesson plan. So the lesson plan I found was called Acrostic Poems, All About Me and My Favorite Things. I found it in the OER Commons. The lesson plan is geared towards first or second grade students. I could see how it could even be used for third grade students, sort of as an introduction to poetry. The student objectives for the lesson plan are to find words that begin with the letters in their own names and using a variety of sources, including word banks and online dictionaries. Ultimately, the students create two acrostic poems. They create one with their name, and then they create one about something important to them, something they like. So, for instance, if you have a kid named Johnny, he would make an acrostic poem with his name, the letters in his name, Johnnny, and then if his family is really important to him, he would make an acrostic poem using Family. Then another objective is they revise poems as needed for meaning and convention, and they share their poems with classmates, and then they complete a reflective self-assessment. And in the actual lesson, the lesson plan, the teacher would provide examples of acrostic poems. So, for instance, the teacher might use their own name to show the class an example, either on the website that I'm about to show you, or maybe just even on a whiteboard or a smart board, whatever the teacher has available. Then, kind of mixed in with that, or separate from that, the teacher would introduce the websites and tools students will use, kind of show them how to use it so they know what they're doing. In the lesson plan, they create a word matrix as a class, so they choose words they like just to write on the board or smartboard, again, whatever is available, so that there are words they can just readily look up and use if they're having trouble finding their own words on the website. Then students write their own acrostic poems with their names. Then they would write their own acrostic poems about something important to them, and then students share, publish, and or perform their poems in whatever way the teacher would see fit. So if they want to publish them online, they can. If they make a paper and pen and marker sort of dealio, they can do that. Whatever is going to be best for the class. So the websites that are used in the lesson plan are the Little Explorers English Picture Dictionary and Acrostic Poem Interactive. So I'll show you just as an example. So this is the Picture Dictionary, and you click on a letter. So for instance, if I were going to do my name for the acrostic poem, which is Tori, I might click on T. And then I would look, if I don't know a descriptive word for T, I might look, and I'd say tall. I'm pretty tall for a girl, so then I could go here to the Acrostic Poems website. What is an acrostic poem? And you can read, an acrostic poem uses the letters in a topic word to begin each line. All lines of the poem should relate to or describe the poem. So that's another way also that you could introduce to your class how acrostic poems work, is just through this little example. So we'd get started. My name, Tori. Topic word, Tori. So you'd think of some words. So this is sort of like the word matrix. So students can actually create their own little matrix. So I'd put tall. Students might enter the word matrix. I'll just put the words I'm going to use. So tall. Let's see if we go to O. So this is sort of how a student would do it, or might do it. They might already have words that they would be using that they've already thought of. But let's say they saw one, and they might be like, one, I'm one cool cat. So, I don't know, are really awesome. Think pretty highly of myself in this poem. And I might be interesting. And they might also think of some other words to describe themselves, like maybe likable or chatty. And then the Acrostic Poems website says, use the words you brainstorm to help write your acrostic poem. Your poem should be about the topic word, and each line should begin with a letter from the word. So, T, tall, O, one cool cat, really awesome, and interesting. Then the students have the option to print or save or share, and then really that's teacher's discretion what gets done with them next, or if they use this website at all. But the tool I thought was best for engagement, regardless if you use the Acrostic Poem website at all or not, I really thought that the Little Explorer's English Dictionary was awesome. You can go and you can look through, you see there's all these words, all these definitions, so even if children aren't looking for the word oryx, I don't even know what that is. Oryx are longhorned antelopes from dry areas in Africa and Asia, so even if they're not necessarily looking for that word, they've got it there, and they might learn some new definitions along the way, and it also sort of provides a low-stress way for them to find words without being overwhelmed with like a traditional dictionary where there's thousands of words that they have no idea, and the pictures are also very helpful. So, the tool helps to eliminate distractions because students can focus on the assignment, they can find words at their own pace, so they're not really stuck to using words that were found together as a class, and they don't have to wait on other people to find words, they don't have to wait on their teacher, or if they need to take things slower, if they need more time than just a classroom gathering of information, they can kind of go at their own pace, look through the words, read the words, and they aren't distracted by what everyone else around them might be doing and how fast or slow they might be finding their own words. Students can gather knowledge with low stress, so they can make new words, find new words, and make connections like I showed with, where did it go? There we go, with the oryx, and with all the letters, the same thing. I mean, if you go to N, for example, they might ultimately decide that they like the word, say, let's see. They might see nut and they'd be like, I'm kind of nutty. But they might also look and see North Pole, and then they'd read about the North Pole and just read, and it kind of builds knowledge, builds connections, and they're kind of engaged just looking at all of these things with the pictures. Again, it's low stress, so they aren't overwhelmed. They're just kind of able to focus on the knowledge they're trying to gain while also seeing some other things they might want to learn about. And students are active in their learning because they're choosing their own words, so they're not just having to go based on some predetermined words. They've got a pretty nice selection of words for all the letters of the alphabet, and they can actively decide which they're going to use in their acrostic. They don't have to, like the word matrix, for instance, that you would create as a class, they're not needing to necessarily stick to that. So they are actively able to decide what they are going to do. So also, that ties into Bloom's taxonomy, because they go all the way up to where they are learning new information, understanding it by learning the definition, they're applying it by using it in their acrostic. They go all the way up to where they are creating an entirely new poem based on the words they might either be learning or realizing, start with a letter in their name. So that helps them be the most active and engaged learners, because they are actually creating a work of their own. So yeah, I really think that the Early Learners Dictionary is a great tool to help engage students, not just even for making acrostic poems, but really any situation where they need to learn new words, especially that begin with a certain letter, in a sort of low-stress way where they're able to learn and find new things. And I think it really helps keep students engaged in what they are doing, as opposed to maybe a book dictionary. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning about my tool for engagement.